everybody to the town board meeting for July 28th. I ask everybody to please silence their cell phones and ask everybody to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This time I would ask for a moment of silent reflection, keeping the Williams, Sanzero, and Corntillo families in your prayers. Thank you very much. Agenda approval. Does anybody need anything added to the agenda? No. Approve the agenda as presented.
Make a motion.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Resident statements. Hannah Davis.
Good evening, board members. I live in Town Line Road next to the Tompkins Farm. I was just wondering if there was any update as to what was happening with that.
Supervisor, I can speak to her after the meeting for sure.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay. Our 2024 audit presentation, Director Malecki.
Well, thanks for having me. My name is Nick Petron with Director Malecki. We're the external auditors for the town of Lewiston. I'm accompanied here with Erica Hanley. She's the director and the lead on the town's audit division. So we're here today just to briefly go over the 2024 audit results for the town. Real quickly, we'll go over some of the required communications we have to the board, and then we'll go through some of the financial statement highlights and go through some of the numbers as well. From our standpoint, so our responsibility as your external auditors, we're hired to plan, to perform an audit, to see if your financial statements can be relied upon and are fairly stated, specifically by the town board or any department heads or anyone looking at the financial statements to make decisions. The financial statements are owned by the town. The town on an annual basis will be inputting and entering data, and then we simply come in and audit that data and compile it into financial statement format that's easy to read. We did not come across any concerns, and I'm happy to report we're going to be reporting an unmodified audit opinion, which is the best you can do from an audit standpoint. That's a clean opinion. So, and that's been consistent with the last several years for the town. So, there's been no changes in any significant accounting policies in your financial statements. From an accounting estimate standpoint, you do have a couple long-term items that would include your post-employment benefits related to your employees as well as the state retirement system. Those aren't included within your fund statements like the general fund or the water fund. Those are long-term items that would be accounted for on the government-wide statements. It's also important to note we are independent of the town. We sign annual disclosure forms so you know that we don't show any bias towards the town or any employees or anything like that. And then other than that, it was another clean audit year thanks to the help from Jackie and her staff and her knowledge of the town. It made the audit pretty smooth and efficient and easy for us to come in and look at the records. So thank you for that as well. Real quickly, we'll go into the financial statement numbers. We'll start with the general fund. From an operational standpoint, so revenues came in about $200,000 less than your expenditures this year, so that was a negative change in fund balance. Your main revenues in the general fund are your tipping fees for modern. That came in at about $1.8 million. Your property taxes came in just under $500,000. But then there was also an uptick in interest earnings as well, almost tripled from the prior year, which will be seen across most funds from 2024. So that was nice to see. On the expenditure side of things, you have general government support is the main driver of expenditures. It's about $1.4 million, and then you have about $1.1 million in culture and recreation expenditures. There's a large increase in recreation expenditures, and then there's just an increase in salaries and employee benefits across the board. That's why I saw the expenditures outpace the revenues for 2024 in the general fund. So if you go to the fund balance slide for the general fund, at December 31st, 2024, total fund balance in the general fund is at about $2,011,760. Of that number, you have about $59,000 that's considered non-spendable fund balance. That's money that's already gone out the door for prepaid expenditures. And then you have about $786,000 that's earmarked for certain purposes. You have the largest items would be $200,000 for future property assessment fees, and then you have $500,000 earmarked from the 2025 budget. So that kind of brings you to your available fund balance in the general fund, and that's about $1.1 million at December 31st, 2024. And that's about 32% of your total expenditures in the general fund on an annual basis. So we'll move on to the town outside village fund. This year, they saw a negative decrease in fund balance of about $100,000. There was an anticipated loss of about $171,000 in the 2024 budget, so that fund did perform better than expected. Within this fund, you saw sales tax at about $1.7 million that came in. That was consistent with 2023. Interest earnings went up again, and mortgage tax was consistent with the prior year as well. However, there just was an uptick in public safety expenditures and then salaries and employee benefits across the board. That's why you saw expenditures outpace revenues. And then within your total fund balance, within the town outside village fund, that total number is about $2.1 million at year end. Of that 2.1, $464,000 is earmarked for equipment or was appropriated in the 2025 budget. And that leaves you with about $1.6 million that is available within the town outside village fund. On the highway fund, from an operational standpoint, they recognized about $24,000 positive increase in fund balance. The main driver of revenue here is your sales tax, about $3.2 million. That was a nice uptick from the prior year in 2023. Same with interest earnings. And then real property taxes were about $200,000 in the highway fund. On the expenditure side of things, pretty consistent across the board. Just a regular increase in your state retirement expenses, employee benefits, and then contractual expenses as well there. Fund balance within the highway fund is at about $1.9 million at December 31st, 2024. $530,000 of that is earmarked for either equipment, future purchases, or in your 2025 budget. And then you have $1.2 million that's technically available within the highway fund. Okay. Two more funds to go. Within the water district fund, there's a large increase in fund balance here, almost $400,000. Total revenues came in at about $3 million, and then expenditures were about 2.6, which was very consistent with the prior year. On the revenue side of things, you saw an uptick in water sales, and then interest earnings doubled from the prior year as well. On the expense side of things, like I said, was fairly consistent, and your savings were realized in some of your transmission and equipment contractual expenditures. So fund balance within the water fund, you have about $2.5 million at December 31st, 2024. Of that 2.5, about 1 million of that is earmarked for future capital improvements. And then the remaining 1.4 million is technically available for use within the highway fund. So almost a little less than half of your fund balance is earmarked for future capital improvements or repairs. And then last, I'll talk through the sewer fund. They saw a negative decrease in fund balance of about $500,000. This year, expenditures did increase quite a bit. There were some large purchases within the sewer fund which were planned in the 2024 budget. Salaries, employee benefits went up, and then there was a large transfer into the sewer fund from the capital projects fund a large transfer out of the sewer fund to the capital projects fund to help fund the main panel project. So if you go to your fund balance within the sewer fund, there's about $3 million in sewer fund balance at December 31st, 2024. A little less than $1 million of that 3.5 is earmarked for capital improvements or appropriated in your 2025 budget. And then you have about $2.1 million that's technically available within the sewer fund balance. So that's pretty much it from a numbers perspective. Like I mentioned before, myself and Erica are always available for any questions at any time. And thanks again to Jackie, helping us get through the audit. And we're close to finalizing everything, just a couple formalities, and then we should be able to issue your financial statements.
Anybody have any questions for Nick? Anybody? No? Thank you, sir. Okay. Department head statements. Tamara, anything from the clerk's office? Captain?
Just what's on the agenda.
Okay. Deputy Supervisor Conrad, anything?
Nothing tonight.
Jeff Dow?
Yes. In last year's budget, we had a 350 dump truck with 11-foot pots put on, or bidded out. We finally got the bids back. Came in at $66,452.25. We rolled over $64,822 from last year's budget, and we have a $1,630.25 in additional funds coming out from this budget this year, and that's been approved by Jackie.
Okay. And this was already approved, so there's nothing the board needs to do, correct, Jackie?
Just the additional amount for this year, which will come out of their equipment line. They came in a little less on the pit work that they were doing, so their equipment line will be able to hold the $1,600.
Okay. So somebody wants to make a motion for that $1,630.25?
I'll make that motion. Second.
With a motion and a second, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Anything else?
Nope.
Mitch? Anything? No. Jeff Ritter?
It's recently come to my attention that there's a lot of misinformation and speculation about the sewage treatment plant on social media. That being the case, we'd love to answer some of the questions and concerns, but also show the plant processes. So I would like to announce an open house at the wastewater treatment plant, 501 Fletcher Road, on Saturday, August 23rd, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Most likely we'll put an invite up on the town's Facebook page.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. Melinda Olick?
Yes, we have, tomorrow, at 10:30, we have the emergency preparedness training. That's for, the, Homeland Security. Forgot for a second, but I got it now. They're coming in and they bring a backpack that emergency supplies. You should pre-register, which I've pretty much registered anyone, but you can just go on our website and there's probably a link, or the flyer in the newsletter for July. You can do that. And then we have the produce truck from Northern Western New York every Wednesday from 12:30 to 1:30. They have really good produce, so everybody should check that out. It's on the side parking lot by Fletcher, Stella Niagara side, so, check it out, it's good. Thank you.
Thank you, Melinda. Tim Smith?
Yeah, just winding down our baseball season, which is very successful. Camps are strong right now. We're in our 4th week of camps, which are going great. Yoga's continuing through August. We're going to switch over to Mondays to make it easier, and that'll be at the senior center due to the construction. And also a big one is starting Thursdays in August through September, we'll have our bocce and cornhole league going on. So we got it's all free. You can register either on our website or on Facebook, or you got my email there as well. So we do have a lot of people signed up for that as well. Mitch's crew did a great job of redoing those bocce courts behind there too, so they look really nice.
Just so everybody knows, there's 2 bocce courts behind the senior center that haven't really been utilized by anybody in years, and I don't know if everybody knows they're there. So if anybody enjoys the game of bocce or wants to practice, they're available, they're open to the public, and they're right behind the senior center. So and Tim will post on Facebook when the league starts.
Yep. Thursdays in August we start 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Approval of the meeting minutes for the regular town board meeting on 6/23.
I reviewed them, I'd like to make a motion to be approved.
The motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Abstract of claims.
Alright, I've got two of them. So the first one is for July 14th, 2025. I move to approve the regular abstract of claims, 25-01652 through 25-01879, and recommend payment in the amount of $669,058.43, plus a post audit in the amount of $10,851.27.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Alright, the second one is for tonight. It would be, July 28th, 2025, as I move to approve the regular abstract of claims, 25-01880 through 25-01973, and recommend total payment in the amount of $443,769.58, and post audit payment in the amount of $4,547.95.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Nothing under old or pending business, nothing under new business. Under my liaison report, town hall storage, we have a shed out back that's completely inadequate, and we'll probably have things in the basement that we wanna get out of the basement. So, working with Ed Zimmerman, I approved a $1,000 recommendation for Parco Building to supply specifications to put out to bid on a 20 by 24 foot by 10 foot tall post frame building, basically a pole barn. It'll house all our lawn equipment, tractor, get everything out of the downstairs basement. So with that, we don't need any motion there, but I would ask for a motion to go out to bid on that particular building. I know Councilman Morrell's talked with the building department. I don't know if anybody else has gone and talked to them, but I would ask for a motion to go out to bid.
I'll make that motion. Second.
We have a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And then once the bids come in, I'll work with Jackie and we'll figure out how to pay for it. So then, also with the Chamber of Commerce, which is the white historical building as soon as you pull into the village, and Jennifer Pauley was still the director. I was there one day and literally snow was blowing in under the door. The windows are inadequate and the roof is inadequate. And I spoke to her about possibly using our town energy funds, which we get from the sale of 6.5 megawatts on the open market, about replacing the doors, windows, and possibly a new roof. So last week's village board meeting, they approved moving forward with that, and what I would like to do is basically get a motion to assist. We won't know, they have to have their historical preservation board look at the windows and the doors and approve them. But I would ask for a motion to be able to assist. I don't even know if we need a motion at this point, but basically, just put everybody on notice that we're looking to help the village.
Exactly, and if she has a scope of work, then we could probably.
Yes, we don't have the scope of work yet. We're talking about, they had to have somebody for the windows and the doors come in, they gotta have somebody for the roof, it's gotta meet the historical part of the.
Yeah, there's a lot of components to
Yeah,
that.
so with that, I just wanna let everybody know that the town is looking at moving forward and assisting with that building. And we'll know something in the near future. Also moving forward, Tom Seaman, who is our attorney for planning and zoning, also does our contract negotiations with our unions, which is outside the realm of Tom Seaman's contract for zoning and planning. He's advised me, we have upcoming negotiations with our police department. He's advised me that he is no longer able to do that. He is just overwhelmed with business, and he can't do that anymore. So he, recommended another attorney, and moving forward, I would like to, get a motion to hire Heather Giambra. Heather, does collective bargaining and labor and employment advice for a living. It's her specific specialty. Her current hourly rate is $285, which is pretty much exactly what Tom Seaman was charging us for contract negotiations. So it's not like we're adding anything to our legal representation. It's just replacing Heather Giambra, or replacing Tom Seaman with Heather Giambra. So I would ask for a motion to approve the town hiring Heather Giambra at $285 an hour for contract negotiations.
Second.
A motion, a second. Anybody have any questions?
I just have one.
Yep.
I know it's her specific specialty. How long has she been, working in the field?
I don't have that in front of me, but she's been doing it for quite a while. I don't have her resume with me,
Okay.
so she's been doing it for a while. She's highly recommended by Tom Seaman.
I have one question.
Yep.
Is her firm independent of Tom Seaman's firm?
Yes, it's a
Okay.
separate firm.
Yeah, no association.
It's Schroeder, Joseph and Associates.
Yeah, but no association.
No. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So now we come to Langdon Road. So I received, Jeff, you wanna stand up? Sir. You can come up to the microphone if we have any
Okay.
questions for you. So on January 24th, June 24th, I got a letter from Jeff Schubert and I believe his wife. I don't have it in order. And I'm gonna read the letter. I've since received several other residents' letters from the same area, and they're all the same letter, just different letterhead. And I'm gonna read the letter from Jeff, and if anybody has any questions from Jeff, feel free. Town of Lewiston Town Council, dear members of the Town Council, I hope this letter finds you well. I'm writing as a concerned resident of Langdon Road, Ransomville, to formally request a review and reduction of the posted speed limit on our street. It has become increasingly apparent that the current speed limit of 55 miles per hour poses a safety risk to both the residents, pedestrians, and drivers in the area. The growing number of children, residing pets, elderly residents crossing the road, and an increase in foot and bicycle traffic, the high speed limit has created a dangerous environment. Additionally, it is worth noting that several nearby streets have lower posted speed limits, despite experiencing similar or even lower levels of traffic and pedestrian activity. This inconsistency can be confusing for drivers and contributes to higher speeds being maintained inappropriately throughout our area. There have been several near misses and reports of vehicles traveling well above the posted speed limit. While enforcement is important, the lower speed limit would also serve as a preventive measure, encouraging safer driving behavior and better protecting those who use the road daily. I kindly request that the Town Council consider reducing the speed limit to 35 miles per hour. I, along with many of my neighbors, would be happy to support this initiative in any way we can. Thank you for attention to this matter and for your continued service to our community. I look forward to your response. So I reached out to Jeff and explained to him that the town can't control speed limits on our town roadways. The village can, the town can't. So the process is a petition, which is basically all these letters, and the town board making a resolution for the DOT to do a traffic study to consider reducing the speed. It would be their determination if they did to what the speed limit would be reduced to. So, if anybody has any questions for Jeff, otherwise I would ask for a motion to request the New York State DOT to do a traffic study in the interest of reducing the speed limit on Langdon Road.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second.
Go ahead.
Is there a specific area on Langdon that you're talking about?
Langdon is 1.2 miles.
The entire
So it's,
thing?
yeah, Dickersonville to Porter Center.
Very good.
Yeah.
What speed limit would you be looking at?
I would like 35, but I mean, anything. What I think I get, honestly, yeah.
Okay.
And then I had a question, it's just might be a little bit unrelated. I had one of your neighbors also reach out as far as with the striping and the child at play sign. And,
Yep.
I don't know if there's a way that we can
So I was gonna, after we approve this, I was gonna introduce him to Mitch, cause that would be Mitch. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Jeff, that's Mitch Zano. If you hang out till after the meeting, you can talk to Mitch.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Good.
Appreciate it.
Everybody, who else is here from Langdon Road? Raise your hand. Okay. Good. I told you to be painless. Okay, under legal, lands to be conveyed by Lewiston Port. So as everybody probably knows, the police department is now at the Lewiston Porter School out in front in their old administration building. They don't want it anymore. They are willing to give us, the town, the building. We've had a couple of meetings, Mr. Bax and myself, I think John, you were at a meeting, and the town is more than willing to take the building. School, there's certain school law requirements that the building has to have all this compliance that we don't require, so it was gonna be a pretty heavy expense for the school to upgrade the facilities. We don't have to do that. So, Chief Previtt was involved, now we have Chief Salata, they are all in favor of it, correct? With that, there had to be a referendum from the school district on their ballot, and they did that in, when was the school budget? May, June? Well,
It's a month and a half ago.
yeah. Yeah, they don't have a date. So just real quick, now therefore be resolved that the president of the board is hereby authorized and directed to execute the deed and associated transfer documents for the parcel, as well as the intermunicipal transfer and shared services agreement to effectuate this transaction. This resolution shall take effect immediately. We have a legal description, lands to be conveyed by Lewiston Porter School District, available for review. So, I have the intermunicipal transfer and shared services agreement. So what I would ask for is a resolution to accept,
To approve it and then authorizing you to sign.
to approve the transfer and shared services agreement?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
So I'll ask for a motion to approve the intermunicipal transfer and shared services agreement.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, with that, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And I need a motion for the supervisor to sign.
I'll make that motion. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Supervisor, I'm sorry, apologies for interrupting you. I was wondering if I could get an extra, resolution authorizing the supervisor to sign any real estate documents necessary to conclude the transaction. So just a third, in addition to signing the agreement, to sign any documents necessary to transfer the title to this particular parcel into the town.
We have a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Chief. You got a building.
That's it.
So, back last year, we recalled our drug and alcohol testing for non-CDL. Through the union and Tom Seaman, as he was doing all the negotiations, we came up with an MOU for the CDL drug and alcohol testing. So basically, I'll read this memorandum of agreement between the town of Lewiston and Teamsters Local 264. The town of Lewiston, hereinafter town, and Teamsters Local 264, hereinafter union, hereby enter this agreement this 28th day of July 2025. Full settlement of court case number U-39286 concerning the town's implementation of the drug and alcohol abuse policy. The parties agree as follows. The town hall shall withdraw the at-issue drug and alcohol abuse policy. 2, the parties agree to follow the federal law, rules, and regulations as are applicable to drug and alcohol testing for bargaining unit employees with commercial driver's licenses. 3, in consideration of the foregoing, the union agrees to withdraw the above referenced improper practice charge. With that, I would ask for a motion to agree the memorandum of agreement between the town of Lewiston and Teamsters Local 264.
I'll make that motion. Second.
We have a motion, a second. Does anybody have any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, and, approval for the supervisor to sign the memorandum.
Yeah, I'll make that motion as stated.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay. At the beginning of July, I received an email, well, actually, the ethics board received an email from a resident concerned about a possible conflict of interest, with our planning board. They forwarded it to Amy Smith, Amy Smith forwarded me, I responded to the resident, and, I personally, so basically, the complaint is that Bill Berg, who is the head of the planning board, owns a building material supply company. And the complaint was that he possibly could profit from President Park development. So I reached out to Bill. Bill wrote a letter to the Lewiston Town Board. I'm proud of the work we do on the planning board. Here's my statement on the ethics question regarding President's Park. I have not solicited any business on any project that has come before the board, especially one as controversial as President's Park. I have not done business with 5-4 development. I have made no attempt to do business or supply products from President's Park. I will not pursue business with President's Park. I will not accept an invitation to bid President's Park. I have no financial interest or benefit from President's Park. Therefore, there's no violation of the ethical standard I promised to uphold. Sincerely, William Berg. So, I want to say that I've known Bill for a long time. Bill is an upstanding individual, and I believe what he says in this, but I also believe that we have an independent board that we can utilize to look into the situation. So what I would ask for is a resolution to have this matter examined by our board of ethics.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions?
I think it's a good course of action. If we make a decision independent of the ethics board, it makes it look bad.
Yep.
Send it to the ethics people, it's what they do, and it'll be all on the up and up.
Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Engineering, Oak Run Estates.
Yes, Mr. Supervisor and the town board, I hope you have a letter, from me dated July 22nd, in effect recommending dedication of phase 5 of Oak Run, which is Eastwood Circle, I believe it's called. And if you like, I can go through it at some of the highlights if you would like.
Sure.
The water line was installed, pressure tested and disinfected, and was approved by the health department. There does need to be a minor modification of the location of the water service on lot 49. I spoke to Mr. Masters and he said that's a very minor thing and they can handle that under the building permit. Sanitary sewer was installed and tested and approved. The I&I offset fee of $3,400 has been paid by the developer. Storm sewer infrastructure is installed. Maintenance bond and the road dedication deed have been submitted to Mr. Bax, who I understand has reviewed and approved both of those documents. A final site walk was conducted, and each of the department heads have sent me an email saying that they are comfortable with the infrastructure that's been installed. We did, item number 6, at the time I was writing the letter, the street sign and the stop sign was not yet put up, but underground was called and cleared. I'm happy to report that those street sign and that stop sign is installed here as we sit here. And then the developer has submitted both electronic and hard copies of the as-built drawings of the infrastructure that was installed. And they also had submitted a certification of release of liens. And I have submitted to the town, I believe it was set up last Wednesday, 6 notebooks of all the project documentation. And what I have here are 6 thumb drives of all the construction photos, which are several hundred. And rather than print those, we put those on a zip drive, or on a thumb drive rather. So I think the project is good to go, and I would recommend that the board consider dedication of phase 5 of Oak Run.
Should we do that in a motion? Al?
Yes.
So a motion to accept the dedication of Eastwood Circle, Oak Run Estates, phase 5.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions for?
Is that the last section of that?
Of Oak Run, yes, 5th and final phase.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
One more item if I may, Mr. Supervisor. In connection with Oak Run Phase 5, that is a cul-de-sac, which, by the town's practice is eligible for a street light. So I would ask the board to consider, me initiating the process for National Grid to get a street light located at that cul-de-sac. That has been taking, a bit of time as of late, so.
Do you need a motion on it?
You would, if historically,
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
thank you.
Thank you. Jackie?
Yes, previously I submitted 3 budget revisions in your board packets, and tonight I ask for approval to process those.
I reviewed them with Jackie, and I'll make a motion that we accept the budget revisions.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions for Jackie? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Okay, Councilman Jacoby.
A couple things tonight. We're going to appoint provisionally a police captain to work on the green chief. And that would be Maria Batista. She's currently a patrol officer. And her appointment would be today, and it's provisional subject to the civil service testing.
It'll be in October.
Over in October.
Coming up.
And then we have a police officer who's going to go from part-time to full-time. That's Joshua Wistow, and he is also effective today.
Correct. And he met all civil service requirements.
So that's a motion to approve that.
Okay, I'm just gonna add, to your motion, Maria Batista is captain at an hourly rate of $39.55.
Yes.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. This will be on Maria Batista first. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And then, we also have a motion by, John Jacoby to hire Joshua Wistow at the current contract rate effective today. Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Congratulations, Maria. I guess we'll see her at the next board meeting.
Correct.
Or for swearing in.
Sounds good.
Anything else, John?
No, that's all I have tonight.
Councilman Morial.
Okay, I got a few items tonight. I'll try and breeze through them. The first one, from the planning board, meeting in regular session on July 17, 2025, reviewed a one-lot split request from Thomas Prince on 4598 Porter Center Road, SBL number 89.00-131. A variance was granted for area dimensional standards. We required 125 foot to the 100 foot frontage from the zoning board on July 10, 2025. So the planning board recommends a negative deck with regard to seekers. I'll need a motion to approve the negative deck. That is a motion to approve the negative deck.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
The board classified this as a minor, to be treated as a minor. Planning board recommends approval of the one lot split as presented. And that again is a motion.
Second. Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
The next one is the planning board meeting in regular session on July 17, 2025. Reviewed a one lot split, a request from Andrew and Michelle Ellis, SBL 100-2-65.111 Upper Mountain Road. The planning board recommends a negative deck with regard to seeker, and that'll be a motion for the seeker.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And the board classified this as a minor to be treated as a minor. The planning board recommends approval of the one lot split as presented. And that's a motion.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
The planning board meeting in regular session on June 26, 2025 reviewed a one lot split request from Todd Craigs, 4157 Dickersonville Road, SBL 76.00-1-21. The planning board recommends a negative declaration with regards to seeker. Put a motion on that.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
board classified this as a minor to be treated as a minor. The planning board recommends approval of the one lot split as presented. That's the motion again.
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
The last one, a planning board meeting in regular session on June 26, 2025, to review a site plan related to planned unit development, PUD, change for 5300 Military Road, Mount St. Mary's Hospital, Catholic Health Campus, SBL 115-00-1-2.11. The planning board recommends approval, the planning board recommends a negative declaration with regard to secret. There will be a motion for secret.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Planning board recommends approval of the PUD change as presented. Again, a motion.
Second.
Motion
I have
and
a
second.
question.
Go ahead.
Just for clarification, as far as I did go to review what the proposed change was going to be for this PUD, because it's not stated in the letter, it's actually for what I believe is a sign.
Yeah.
It's an electronic sign that will be, posted at the entrance off of the military. So I just wanna make sure that clarification is in there, that that's what it's for.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I got 6 sewer forgivenesses for people that had pools or redid their pools, and they sewer forgivenesses for the sewer tax on their water bill. These all been approved by Mr. Ritter. They've been reviewed by him and been approved. The first one, Vince Jowdy, 615 Briarwood Lane, Lewiston, the amount of $53.83. The motion.
Motion and a second, all
I
in favor?
just
Oh,
have
go
a
ahead.
clarification. They're neighbors and good friends. Am I allowed to vote or must I refuse on this?
Pretty up to date with that.
Yeah.
As long as you don't feel that there's a conflict, absolutely. You didn't benefit from any of the
Okay,
water.
okay, I just wanna make sure because, okay.
So we have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
The second one is David Pincana, 485 Fuller Road, Lewiston, for $95.23. Sewer forgiveness. That's the motion.
Second. Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
The next one is Nico Marius, 4772 East Eddy Drive, Lewiston, for $96.72. The motion also.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
The next one is for Elaine Bright, 1221 Swan Road, Youngstown, New York, in the amount of $86.93. That's the motion.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
The next one is Adam Kinney, 5919 Miller Road, Niagara Falls, New York, and it's for $23.57. Motion.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And the last one, Laura Scarfone, 588 Sandalwood Drive, Lewiston, in the amount of $66.28. That's a motion. also.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Myers, anything? Councilwoman Wechter, anything?
Nope, I don't have anything. I just want to say, that Sanborn Farm Days, that was quite interesting. Never have been there, so I'm glad that I went out there on Saturday. The BPO at Academy Park, fabulous. Good night, except we all got a little bit wet. Thank God nobody melted. But, most of all, I want to thank Jackie for doing what she does, because this is a great report, and I appreciate it.
It's a lot of hard work.
So, with that,
And one last thing, if everybody could make the open house at the sewer treatment plant, it's something to see, I highly recommend it.
it's August 23rd, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. August 23rd, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Nobody signed up for resident statements at the end of the meeting. Is there anybody that wishes to speak? Yeah, go ahead.
So my name's Clay Miller, I live at 4557 Creek Road. In full transparency, I'm the one who submitted the complaint to me. I'm asking for transparency, I should be transparent. So just two things. One is I hope that, excuse me, what led to this initial email to Mr. Broderick was a conversation. So I hope that I'm allowed to, not at this point, because we're under the ethics board investigation, but I hope someone contacts me. And as I said in my email, I'll be more than happy to sign an affidavit as to what I heard. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, I appreciate everything in terms of Mr. Burke's a great guy, and I've known him for a long time. But that's not the law in New York State. The law is a perceived conflict of interest. It has nothing to do with him as a person. You have the chairman of a planning board in a town that owns a building products company. So it's irrespective of what he wants to do, if he's done business in the past. I have a different opinion on that. But the fact that this person is allowed to sit in a planning board meeting, it's just, it shouldn't have happened. So I appreciate the review, but it also seems that it's so glaring. How come we're at this point? Somebody should have said, hey, I own a building products company in Lewiston. I'm the chairman of the planning board in Lewiston. I should sit this one out. And that didn't happen. So like I said, I appreciate you looking into it. I appreciate the steps being taken, but I just would remind everyone, this is not a personal issue. It is a perceived conflict of interest. That's the law in New York State. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak? I'm sorry, go ahead, sir. I saw you had your hand up earlier.
My name's Steve Newman. I just want, I guess it's really a question, is it the board's opinion of whether or not it's a conflict of interest, or is it the public's perceivance of it being? Because in the town code, as it reads, it's public's perception, not the board member's perception.
I can understand where the concept of a perceived conflict of interest. I would suggest that every circumstance is going to be taken on an individual basis, and because this individual did not have any prior dealings with the development, my opinion is that there would not be a conflict because of the fact that he didn't have any prior exposure or dealings with this other business. That would mean that every contractor, no contractor, could be on the planning board because they were in the construction industry. No plumber, anybody with experience in dealing with the subject would never be able to serve on a planning board because of a perceived possible profit motive.
Okay. That's not how it's stated in the town code.
I think you have to go deeper. You have to look into the case law and of course that's why we have the ethics committee to look into things.
Correct.
Certainly there are ethics rulings throughout the state on exactly the same issue.
Do we have an ethics board appointed in the town as of right now?
Yes.
Because in the town code, if it's not appointed, it goes to
No, we have an ethics board, and Mr. Miller, he sent it to the ethics board. They forwarded it to me because the process should be the town board refers something to the ethics board. And that's what we did here tonight. So
yeah.
I think it's getting to where he wanted it to go, but we just had to follow the right route to get there.
Yeah, I appreciate everything, just following our town code, and that's really, past is past, whatever happens in the past is the past, but the future, and in the future, I just would really highly recommend that you guys really look into that and utilize your recusal of privilege to recuse yourself from a vote if you think it's going to be a conflict of interest. And it's not necessarily your perception of conflict of interest, it's ours, because that's exactly what the town code states.
If you wouldn't mind if I could just elaborate on the example that you provided, or even the circumstances here. Had there been, for example, someone shopping from 5 Fourth Development at his retail place of business, okay, and then time for Mr. Berg to make a determination on the subject. That, in my opinion, is exactly what the code is referencing. A circumstance whereby I could vote and be independent on the subject because he's just someone that comes in and shops. He pays his $5 for his bag of nails. and I have no further dealing with him, nor do I stand to make anything off of this thing in the future, because I would not accept it because of the appearance of impropriety.
Right.
That, I think, stands out more drastically than circumstance at hand, where there has been no contact in the past. And the only thing that links the two is the fact that one is a construction project, and the other one is a construction manager.
Right. Okay.
But
Clear,
again,
clear.
every case is
I
taken on a
just,
case-by-case basis. It is.
We're paying attention, basically, we're paying attention to the town code and what's going on, and we appreciate, you even asking the town attorney before you even asked that vote, That didn't occur in the last few votes, especially the ones with the town mandatoriums that we have right now, the small-term rentals. That's all. Because in the town code, it states direct family, kinship, all of that as well.
Understood.
So, thank you. Anybody else wish to speak? Yes, sir.
Yeah, my name's Andrew Ellis. My wife and I brought one of the land splits to the board tonight.
Okay.
And my question is this, because I don't know. Will I get a letter now at my house saying you okayed that land split so we can go to the attorney?
So Tim Masters is sick today, and he's the one that would probably answer that question.
I believe
You will get a letter?
You'll
Okay,
get
you will
something.
get a letter.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Steve, I would like to say one thing. Mr. Miller, and I forgot your name, I'm sorry, back there.
Steve,
Steve, we see a lot up here, people coming in, they have complaints and they have problems with the town. And you guys represent the way it should be done. I mean, you did your homework, you presented the facts legibly and clearly, and really some of the stuff they explained made it a little more clear for me personally. I've looked at this stuff a lot. I just want to compliment everyone here tonight. Someone asked me, so what's it like when people come? I said, well, you know the scene in Frankenstein when the villagers have torches? Sometimes it's like that.
we're all neighbors.
Yeah, but you guys are gentlemen, and, believe me, the board wants to do what's right by everyone.
I'd be happy to meet with you after the meeting.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. With that, upcoming board commission meetings, do you know if the Historic Preservation's meeting on August 12th?
We're going to try.
Okay, so August 12th, 5:45 p.m. Zoning Board is August 14th at 6 p.m. Planning Board is August 21st at 6:30 p.m. And the regular town board meeting, August 25th, is 6 p.m. And there's no work session in August. And again, open house at the sewer treatment plant, August 23rd, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. We'll make that motion. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you.